Hey guys, welcome back to Clockwork Noodles for another breakdown of Spy X Family Season 2, Episode 10. This was a complete change of pace. Change of pace I really welcome as we get to really focus in on just Lloyd this week, which makes me very happy because I'm a big Lloyd supporter. Before we get going, make sure you guys are subscribed. Very shortly now, we're going to have the end of season review. I can't believe we're already getting to that point. I will be releasing that in about 3 weeks' time just to allow myself a little bit of a gap, but I do have things continuing on the channel during that point. To Your Eternity continues. I don't know when Golden Kamuy is coming back. I haven't heard anything yet, but I am going to be bringing you my top 3 anime of the season. What can I say? It's going to be very different from the midway review, but it's also been very difficult because things have been getting better in the last half. Things are really gripping me in the last half of the season, so we'll have to see how things go. So make sure you don't miss out on that video. Let's get going with episode 10. Nightfall's character in general and the way that she wants to just off Yor does make it very difficult for me to like her. And there's another reason why I really don't like her, which I'll get to a bit later on. This is going to be a mission where I think the result of the mission is maybe going to give us some information on Anya. So the information that this guy is linked to is the human experimentations, which I hope means it's the stuff on Anya, because I'd like to get some more information on this. However, I get the feeling that we're never really going to get any information because I think everybody has to keep their secret. Whether the parents are ever going to know that Anya can read their brains, I'm not quite sure that's ever going to come out, but it does feel like this is going to be the closest we get to having information on Anya. However, I did think the mission today felt very left field, pardoning the tennis pun right there, because I couldn't see why Strix would be interested in stepping in. However, I guess they want to stop the controversial reaction that people may have if they find out that human experimentation has been gone out. The government would be a bit unhinged. It would flare up tensions, so they're trying to stop things getting out of hand. The side that we're in, we're trying to protect their secrets coming out, if that makes sense. It did seem a bit weird, and I did think that the tennis option was the most riskiest option. There must have been a better option. I know they say that it's hard to get in and out. This has to be one of the worst options. Tennis episode, which is great. Spy X Family meets sports anime, and I do like some sports anime. A lot of people are noticing that Blue Lock is crushing the top 3 right now in most top 10 lists. There's definitely a love for sports anime. I am watching Blue Lock. It is interesting, but I'm not watching it because of the football aspect, more because of the psychological aspect. Big old gamble because Lloyd initially said that he didn't really know how to play. He said he dabbled in it, then he's suddenly a pro tennis player. Spy X Family makes me have to bite my lip and go, okay, fine, I'm gonna let it be. This doesn't really seem like the win is guaranteed. There's also a possibility that they go to the vaults, and if they do win, that Campbell's not gonna allow them to get their hands on this picture in the first place. He's not gonna want the secret getting out, so why would he even include it in the vault? Let's talk about the naming conventions that Spy X Family keep bringing us. We've had the forgers for forgery, because a forgery is a fake. Now we've got a phony, and a phony is also a fake. I really like the little wordplay that goes on. Not exactly subtle, but us, the anime fans, we are looking for it. Them suddenly going all pro tennis team on our hands that nobody's ever heard of, who are going to suddenly be sus that these guys have come out of nowhere to beat old pros, the guys on the other side who are cheating right now. You're able to win despite the fact that this much cheating is going on. Sticking out too much would be a very bad thing. Nightfall's desire emerge into reality, forces them to be a married couple, but why not brother and sister? Did you have to be a married couple? There's a few very powerful sport teams out there which are brother and sister. There was a lot of things that could have gone wrong and still will go wrong, and I think next week seems to be upping the stakes even further. You can't fake sport skills. You can fake some things, you can cheat your way through things, like if you are a spy, but in front of all those people, it would be difficult to fake. It was very entertaining though to hear the words phony first serve, the phony pair win. Entertaining enough to keep me smiling. But Lloyd being the pro was perhaps the most hardest thing to accept of the episode. Standing out way too much. No hints that he's a tennis pro. He is very athletic, he's a spy, he's good at a lot of things, but getting good at tennis takes a lot of time. Lloyd we see in Nightfall's daydreams, it doesn't seem to be the real Lloyd. He's very different from the way that we know Lloyd. What makes me wonder is she's projecting her view of what she wants him to be like onto him. I've had this before where somebody dated me because they had an image of me that they had created, but it wasn't me, so I could never live up to the image that they'd created. She's seeing a Lloyd that doesn't really exist, and she's really ignoring Lloyd as a person. Nightfall and the way she plays tennis is absolutely terrifying. That was very entertaining. This is the underground of tennis where doping and rigging and apparently death might be allowed now. It does seem that in the teaser for next week we've got a sniper. We do get a little break. Sadly, yours worries are starting to grow even more, ignoring the fact there's a ball rolling around. We already gained from last week that you can only kill the people who are written on the list. So Yor knows that she can't think badly, she can't think death upon people, and she can't get rid of her even if she wanted to, because you can only kill the names that are given to you by the shopkeeper. Nightfall isn't going to be on that list anytime soon. Nightfall volunteering to happily change Lloyd's diaper was absolutely hilarious. It caught me off guard, and I could imagine her being very willing to change underwear for Lloyd. But I am very sad that we missed most of this fight. I would have liked to have seen it because it's hinted at that Nightfall was pummeling them with the balls. We are about to move on to a off-the-wall match, which is against the children of the Campbell. That gets crazy. It does make me wonder how interesting this really would be as a spectator sport, because it kind of seems like the games would be over very quickly if they weren't our phony pair, superhuman people, regardless of cheating. All the way through this episode, I did think the voice actor for Nightfall seemed very, very familiar. I had to do a little bit of snooping, and I have revealed that the voice actor is actually Gabby from Attack on Titan. That's why I don't like her. Also, I can never say the name, Floaty Girl from My Hero Academia. The voice actor is actually in a lot of airing animes this season, so kudos to her. She's also in Do It Yourself, an anime that I'm really enjoying. I didn't expect too much from it, but it is very entertaining. That is who Nightfall's voice actor really is. The scene of them talking in Morse code and the toxins suddenly getting into the room, the shift was welcome. It's been a very fast-paced episode, but it's always had this uneasy feel to it. It suddenly got real when we realised that they were having to stop breathing for big periods of time in the room to just limit the amount of toxins that's getting into their bodies. And then we also realised how powerful the people are. They need to go to such levels to stop the competition. And to be fair, the way that the two guys end up playing with those super mech'd up tennis rackets, it's actually a wonder that they would even have to go to the levels of gassing their opponents. See, with these two, they're not taking any chances because of the way that they've played. It's very nice to see that Lloyd sees spies as people and he starts to care about Nightfall. Many a good spy die. It's a bit of character growth from his old self. We didn't really get to see much about the old self, but we are told that this is a big shift. He no longer sees spies as just being disposable. Whether that's because he's had a family now and he's starting to soften a little bit, that would be quite nice. Being a bit more softer and seeing people as people is always positive. Sports anime is about to hit mech levels as we go to some very blatant cheating. It does make me wonder, how is Campbell making any money if all of these matches are suddenly very easy to predict? The twins suddenly say that they don't have to cheat anymore, or that don't have to pretend they're struggling. Now need them to fight properly against these pair because they're actually really good. We are told that rigging happens, but it does make me wonder why anybody would find this interesting to even bid on if it's very predictable, or if anybody is making any money. But I guess they sometimes play weak and sometimes play really heavy. But I did think it was very entertaining, this match of them playing against pretty much the odds. All of these unbelievable cheats going on. Unbelievable. And the fact that they're even holding their own is unlikely. It definitely shouldn't be possible for our two spies to even be winning, because the house is pissed. The house always wins. As I wrote in the notes, that they could go even further to try stopping them. Well, that's when I saw the sniper in the teaser and I was like, oh, okay, they are going to go further. How are you even going to get out of being shot? It'll be very interesting to see how things go. But I did think it was a very interesting episode. I really enjoyed it. I didn't mind sitting down to the tennis match. Initially, I was a little bit, I don't want to see this because I don't really want to see her hitting on Lloyd. It felt forced that we want to have this character try and be a married partner for a bit. We want to try and focus in on this. So this is a mission that is forced to have this reaction. The tennis match itself was actually really interesting to watch. So I had fun with that. It was nice to see the pair start working together. As the stakes started to rise, we see them having to play properly, play harder, play like they mean it. It's nice just to have a bit of interaction between the two. Hopefully next week is going to go well. I still don't like her as a character just because I don't like the idea of bumping people off, or the way that she looks down on Yor. That really upsets me because Yor is doing her utmost best. Nightfall is blinded by love. I don't like people who are forceful, I guess. I've had a few people who have muscled into relationships where they don't belong and then things go wrong and then everyone's unhappy because nobody ends up with anybody. I can't wait to see where we go next week. Can't wait to see the results of our Wimbledon match. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you're having a great weekend and I hope you've got a good month planned for the festive period. I will see you guys again soon. Don't forget, my end of season review is going to be followed by a winter anime 2023 review. That was when I would go over the whole season. I'll tell you guys what I'm looking forward to, what's coming your way, what anime is coming out in general, and what will be broken down on the channel. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.